should have done had this adjusted. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I try to always get myself a little bit more dead centered. Hey, uh, well, I didn't come up with any new script, if you will, but I did tell you that I would try to give you something a little different, but still. So we'll launch right into my weight. Yesterday I came in at 220.5. Today I came in at 221 even. And there's a reason behind it. As it happened, like I'd said, Tuesday I had to take my dog to the vet. And me and my housemate went together, and we stopped at DJ, and I really didn't want anything particular, so I told him just do his best guess, and he ended up getting me 3 products. And the good and plenty that I had mentioned yesterday on my live stream was one of the products. Now, Tuesday evening, I had only ate a little of them, but yesterday I went on ahead and I ate all of them. And among those items was also M&Ms. Now, this was all theater, and so what I did was I just went on ahead and ate up all of the candy. And I had also had myself some chips. But none of it gave me pleasure. I didn't eat it because I desired it or because I craved it or anything. As I'd said in my live stream, I don't crave the stuff anymore. And it honestly didn't do anything for me. I remember in the past how it was when I would eat that stuff. Like there was so much pleasure in it. It was just so good, so enjoyable. But yesterday, none of it really tasted good to me. There was no pleasure in it. There was no enjoyment, And I just the same as quickly gobbled it down just to get rid of it because I didn't want to throw it away, and I didn't want it to be in my presence anymore either. Which initially I had like I hid it in my dresser drawer, and then I got thinking about it. I just didn't want it there, period, because there would have been a time that I would have maybe wanted something or spotted it or something. I just didn't want it there, period. So I went on ahead and just demolished it, got rid of it. And so, therefore, that's the reason why I had gained 5 ounces. But the Lord has been really merciful to me about this. And at the very same time, I'm extremely shocked that I didn't gain more from having so much added sugar. But the other surprising thing is because normally when I eat stuff like that, I would find myself extremely ravenous first thing in the morning. And I wasn't this morning. So I feel that the Lord is helping me to get through this. And it is truly by His grace that I haven't screwed myself up over and over again. But I wrote in my diet journal that I am completely done with junk food. That I really prefer the effects that I have over eating more natural, wholesome foods. And I mean, I ended up journaling because usually when I log it, when I write it in my diet journal, most generally it's like one small paragraph. But this time it took up a couple pages. I mean, I just let my mind go with it. So yeah, I'm done with junk food altogether. I was absolutely amazed though that one, I didn't end up with acid reflux last night. Uh, two, I didn't wake up ravenously, just literally, seriously feeling like I was starving. Uh, and three, um, even the fact that I didn't like 100% feel lethargic or anything. About the only thing that happened to me last night from eating all that candy like that, from having the overload on the sugar, I ended up having uh, the shakes real bad because my blood sugar was high. So what I done was I just ran on ahead and went to drinking water so that I could flush out the sugar. And within drinking the water, and I think it took about 30, 40 minutes, something like that, the shakes diminished. So that was about the only thing that I had suffered from that. And I didn't like how I felt though. I didn't like the feeling of having the shakes like that. And I was queasy to my stomach too. It because the saying goes that if you have too much sugar, it'll make you sick to your stomach. Well, I was semi queasy and had the shakes, so yeah, drinking water took care of that. And by the time I was ready for bed, I felt a lot better as far as that went. Well, this morning, as I said, I didn't wake up hungry, but by the time I was done doing my devotions, a little after 10, I finally did feel a little bit of hunger, but nothing major. So all I had this morning was a half cup of coffee with cream and sugar and one toast with peanut butter, and that's it. That's all I wanted. I really didn't know what I wanted to fix myself anyway. I knew that I wanted something, but I really didn't know what. So I settled with that, and I'm fine with that. As far as I know, for my dinner, I'm going to be having a flat steak, and I've got some leftover cheddar and broccoli rice. So I'm going to have that, and I'm not sure if there's anything else. I might have some yogurt too. I don't know. But I'm grateful that I didn't gain more weight out of that because I could have easily been like 222. So I am very, very happy about that. I can deal with that. I didn't bother to walk this morning. I just dived right into doing my devotions. Not to mention, I got up after 8. I think I saw on my watch like it was either 8:15 or 8:51. It was one or the other. And I didn't even realize that I'd slept in. I went to bed early. I got to bed before 10 o'clock, but I guess I really needed to sleep. Either that or the sugar overload really did knock me out. Didn't take any time for me to doze off though. Um, I'm kind of seeing a new perspective about things though. Uh, it seems like I never stopped learning about this. I never stopped discovering things. And I really wish that I'd had all this under my belt years ago, like many years ago, at least, um, at least around 35 years ago, at least. um, but at least I am learning now. And it's good that I am getting this under this belt, getting all this information, learning this, discovering this now. Because the way I see it, like, I'm not old, but I'm not young either, you know? I am most certainly middle aged. And until Christ comes, I do have life ahead of me for me to take care of. And I just wish that I'd had all this so much sooner in my life. But I think during that time when I could have been really learning it, I was also in a rebellious stage. Um, I used to read fitness magazines and First for Women. And of course, they would have different testimonies of people losing weight because they ate this and not that, and they done this and not that. And, you know, I would like prove them and, you know, like, and at the same time, I was reading these magazines to know more about what to do for my health and to lose weight, but I was throwing everything off that I was reading. Like, what was the use of wasting my money on the magazines if I wasn't going to learn something out of them? Or if I wasn't going to adapt any of those lifestyles? Now, some of them I did attempt to do. Like, I had read in one First for Women, uh, this woman lost weight by having a something like a protein shake. Um, I don't remember what all was in it, but it was something of a made up shake. Consisted of some veggies and fruits and yogurts and, you know, the whole enchilada. She would have that for breakfast for 6 days, and on the seventh day would do nothing but drink the shake for the morning, for the lunch, for the dinner, for the snack, you know. And I attempted that, and I starved. Like, I did not get full even on one shake. And I attempted the seventh day of having the shake all day long, and it just, that was a major floppy. Uh, um, but there were other things that I had attempted, and they didn't work. Either I would be extremely hungry, or I would find myself uh, going into this bit of having extreme cravings. And it just didn't work out. Eventually, I stopped reading the magazines. Not to mention now, like the first Women is. Last time I looked at the price on that, I believe was like $5.49 a magazine, just same as $6. And the Women's World, which is a thinner magazine, spun off of the people who does the First for Women, and it's a great magazine as well. And it's up to $3. So I just did it. But I did enjoy reading other things besides just weight loss. There was other things that was in the magazines I enjoyed, but I could never adapt to any of the diet plans that was suggested. There was one magazine that I had that had a suggestion of the best time to walk and great ideas for it. Like put your tennis shoes beside your bed so that when you get up, you're reminded to go walking. And that chocolate milk was a great idea to drink after your walking routine. Boy, I was all up for that. But during that time, I had lived with my husband, and he was on disability and we was on food stamps. We had a family of five, so I couldn't afford to keep up with chocolate syrup or jugs of chocolate milk. I couldn't do it. So that went out the window as well. But the idea of having your tennis shoes beside your bed is a great concept. My tennis shoes are not beside my bed, but they are in my bedroom in front of my dresser. And so when I look down to see what shoes I am going to wear, a lot of times I'll spot those tennis shoes. So it's still a good idea. Um, but I like what I'm learning now. And I'm also learning that, as the saying goes, you can't out exercise a bad diet. I am discovering that whether I walk or not, which I really do want to pick up walking, I want to start walking every day, but with the way the summers are here, it's iffy whether or not I can get to go walking anyway, unless I get up like right as it's getting daylight. Then I've got a better chance of having a good walk without overheating. So it's kind of, you know, but I am discovering that even without having a walking routine, because I have walked less in the past month, um, eating the way that the Holy Spirit has directed me to eat, I'm still able to lose the weight, even if I don't go walking. So that kind of gives me a bit of a comfort because that means to me that if the weather isn't cooperative, like for instance, we had 4 days of rain, and for any of you who don't know, it rained so hard and so much that there was a great flooding. Now, I don't know where in Texas it was, but of course, many people were found to be dead and missing. Quite a few were also rescued, but it ended up being a problem. So, days like that, when I can't get out to go walking, if I don't get up early enough or it's raining or whatever, it's still a comfort knowing that I can lose the weight just eating the way that the Holy Spirit had directed me to. And but the one thing about walking, even if you don't do strength training, walking is great cardiovascular and strength and tone. it's an awesome workout, and aside from that, it's recreational. Especially you get into an area that you've never been before, and you can see new sights and everything, and just enjoy being out. So walking is a very great um, ability that I don't want to completely knock off. It just it happened this morning that I didn't even get up. I slept in. So because I believe I was planning on walking this morning, but I didn't ask the Holy Spirit to wake me up. And I don't know, I might have just went on the assumption that I would have, but I didn't. But that's fine because of this, where I think I might have slept uh, about 10.5 hours or so. But I actually feel refreshed. So I will most certainly take that, most certainly. And now I'm not 100% positive, but I think I may be able to mow the lawn tomorrow because the skies are clear and there is an awesome breeze. So the grounds should be dry enough. I'll be able to mow the grass tomorrow, but it is a jungle. Seriously. I mowed the front yard, not on the 4th, but the Friday before. But it was getting late because there was other things I was tending to in the front. So I didn't get this back. So this bat has got 3 weeks worth of growth in it. Plus with all the rain. It's not pretty. I'm gonna have fun. Not when the grass is this high, it is so hard to push through it. But it makes for a great workout. So yes, I have got that to tackle tomorrow morning. I believe I really do need to get at it tomorrow because if I let this backyard grow up any further, I'm going to have to. I don't have enough string to cut it down with the weed eater. So, but I'll get it mowed and it'll look nice. It'll look nice. I have. I feed the birds with an economy mix that has millet, sunflower, and something else. And I think it's got bits of corn in it too. Anyway, uh, Bouncey's eating some grass. It, it won't be easy for her to find good grass. Anyway, I had a problem with some squirrels, or at least one squirrel at least, of digging through the bird feeders to get the sunflower seeds, and so the millets would be strewn all underneath the bird feeders. And after a really good rain, now I discovered this a few months ago. After a really good rain, uh, there was a beautiful patch of grass right underneath the bird feeders. I thought, one of the seeds from the bird feeder grow that? And so I looked it up, and sure enough, millet seed makes really good grass. And so after that, um, as I would go to feed the birds, any leftover out of the bird feeder, because I would always want to make sure that the bird feeder was completely empty, I would just kind of let it fall in the bare spots in the yard. And I had two feeders, a small one and a bigger one. And one day when I had loaded up the bigger one, I went to go put it up, and the strap on it came out from the staples that it was attached to, and it all went in a pile. And so, in the areas that I have spread a little bit of millet, and in that one place where the big feeder spilt, and then right underneath where I keep the bird feeders hanging is really beautiful, soft, lush grass. And looks odd compared to the grass that's in the yard, because the millet, the grass that comes from it, is kind of a more tender leaf, and like you could touch it and it is so soft. I could imagine going barefooted in a patch of millet grass. And the color is such a beautiful hue compared to. And so, like, the grass that is here is more like a light lime green, whereas the millet grass is a little bit more of a beautiful forest or sap green. One person said that it reminds them of the bluegrass that you grow in Kentucky, which the grass in Kentucky does have a little bit more of a beautiful, darker, like forest type green shade. Um, I wish I could get hold of a whole mess of that millet seed and just spread it all over, literally, because the grass is gorgeous. But it did read that millet grass doesn't last in a frost. And so I guess the more natural grass that you have, when it frosts, it doesn't kill it right out. But apparently millet grass does die if it's in frost. So I guess that's the downside of that. You would have to reapply your millet seed if you would want that kind of grass. But the grass is gorgeous. It really is. And I look forward to mowing it and seeing just how much more beautiful those little patches are than the grass that's already in the yard. Um, but I never did know that millet seeds grew grass. I never knew that. So that would be something really interesting to invest in. Not as a bird seed, but just get a bag of millet seed and spread it. Get yourself a grass seeder, and fill it full of the millet seed and just spread it. Roll it around and spread it. It'd be gorgeous. This yard back here, you can tell that different grasses have been planted. I don't think they even used the same grade or brand. But like over on this side, on my right, it's like a real thin blade, almost looks like baby grass. And that could be where they had filled in the pool and then they had just seeded it, because, they would have had to have brought equipment in to fill the pool. And then on this side, on my left, the blades are thicker and more lush like. And I had noticed, because there was a certain way that I had mowed it, and it made it look clean. compared to like this type of grass. And it's just, it's really different. I don't mind the thin blade. It is soft on the feet, and it doesn't seem to slice your fingers. Have you ever gotten a cut on your finger from grass? I have. It's as bad as a paper cut. Ew. But the grass over on this side is soft too. It's your typical broad blade grass, and it does look great when it's cut. It doesn't look as good with the thin stuff over here when it's cut. When it's tall, it looks better. It's odd. But when we moved here, uh, Texas had already been going through a drought for the summer. So this backyard it had patches of grass and patches of bare ground. Now it's completely covered with grass. So, and it looks even more full with the rains that we've had. This year has been somewhat rainy. It's been rainy. It also kind of looks like there's a little bit of a sinkhole, like the ground is now starting to pack in where they had filled that pool in. But I haven't found any like evidence of the pool other than the shape of the ground where it was filled. I am assuming that they had left the pool and that they just completely covered it over. I don't think they removed the pool itself, but I could be wrong. They might have chiseled out the pool, removed the debris, and then filled in the hole. They might have done that. Um, I can't be sure. I know we didn't have a pool when we moved here, but I saw pictures of it. I saw pictures of the house when there was a pool, and it was a good sized pool. Looked like it was of a decent depth too. I reckon. I mean, I'm not positive, but I kind of figured that maybe they had late night parties here, where they would have friends come over for swimming and everything. Because we've got two ceiling fans here, which is a great idea when it's extremely hot and I'm trying to mow the grass. I just turn the fans on. When I need to take a break, I sit underneath the fans and I let the fans cool me down while I sip on my water with ice cubes. It makes a big difference. But then there's also a mount on the wall back here. And at one time, they even had a television set up. There's three switches on this little, you can see this little bay window right here. There's three switches on it. One is the switch for the fans. The other, I guess, was a switch for the TV. And then the third is an auxiliary, I guess, for whatever they chose to have it. Maybe it works the plugs because we've got a plug in here uh, and a plug in there. So we've got two plug-ins. It's on the awning here for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe strobe lights or something. They did have lights that was strung along here, so maybe that was a plug-in for the lights. And so that other switch probably was for the lights that was strung up. But we have since torn down the string of lights, which the bulbs had already been removed, but the wiring with the sockets for the lights was still strung up. And so we had removed that. Um, and there was evidence that they may have had lights on the back fence back there because there was some wiring with light sockets on it. So they might have even had lights there. Um, so yeah, I kind of figured that maybe they had party nights there, maybe for, like for football and stuff like that. What I'd seen in some of the older pictures, uh, like we've got a miniature palm tree here on the deck, and before the palm tree, it was a fire pit. And you could tell, like right now, the grass has grown up around the palm tree. I need to do some trimming around that. But the cement is a perfect circle on the deck where the palm tree is planted. And you could tell that at one time it could have been a pit because it is perfectly round. Now, uh, I don't remember if I saw that they had a pit apparatus or if they just burned it directly in that circle. I don't remember what I saw. But, yeah, they had this kind of fixed up for like parties and everything. And I could see that. I could honestly see that. There might have even been a basketball goal here because now I in the pictures that I'd seen there was also like a play set that was further out that way. It was like a wood structure with swing and a slide, but there's a cut down pole. They had cut it down short enough so that the blades of a mower would go over it, would clear it. That it's about the diameter that a pole would have been if it would have been a basketball goal. So I'm thinking maybe at one point there had been also a basketball goal out there. And on this tree here on my left, I still have no clue what kind of tree it is. It doesn't even have rhyme or reason to its growth. It's a scraggly looking old one. But it's old, probably as old as the house. The house is an 87, so I would say that it's about that old. It's got that kind of trunk on it. Anyway, on one branch that was sawed off, there is still like a hook, almost like an eye, but it's not a closed in eye. It's just a real good hook. So I'm also thinking that at one time before the branch was cut off, it might have had a swing on it, maybe. But thing is, the branch isn't all that high up, so it might not have had a swing. It would have been a great place for a swing, though. Maybe a short swing, but I do think that this place had been set up for children. When Rita moved here, the doorknob for the front entry was a big old fat thing, a mechanism that I'd never seen for a doorknob before. And that would have been to prevent toddlers from being able to open the door because it's too big for their hand. And possibly maybe worked good for anybody with arthritis because, they wouldn't have had the grip so tight. But I figured out how to take the doorknob off and I replaced it with a real doorknob. But I'd never seen a doorknob like that before. It was really different. So I understand so far what I've heard, this house has had anywhere from 4 to 5 owners, not including us. So it's gone through many different hands. It's probably had all kinds of things placed here, been used for all kinds of things and stuff. It's a fascinating house, though. I get a lot of my information from my neighbor that lives on the left. She apparently knows a lot of the people who have lived here. And then there's one neighbor that lives across the street who finally said hi to me, which is fine, because they're never really even outside. But the woman finally said hi to me when she came out. It's the first time I saw her. And then she came another night with a kitten trying to find its owner. And she had told me of one owner that owned this place. And my neighbor on this side hadn't told me about them that I know of. So that might have been the original owners that this neighbor had never met, maybe. So it's interesting what you find out when you move to a new place. You can find out all kinds of history. You can discover all kinds of cool things. It certainly is a peaceful place, though, and I don't mind its setup. It's a good setup. You've got privacy. It's real good. It's a real good place. So yeah, today I am prepared to go back to doing what I need to. The other thing that I had been failing at, and I've been doing this for the past couple months because I am doing the way down basically as far as it goes when I eat and when I don't eat. One of the things I'm supposed to be doing is drinking water in between meals so that I can find true hunger. And I've been just sipping on throughout the day on sugared drinks like sweet tea or energy drinks so that's got to stop. Or even sipping on my coffee until it's done. So, yeah, that's got to end. So I've got my water. Another reason why that I weighed 221, and I have noticed this, is I've got just a little bit of edema in my ankles. So that tells me that I've got just a hint of fluid retention going on right now at this moment, which is another reason for me to go on ahead and be drinking all my water. I don't want to ever become dehydrated, but I need to drink on the water to kind of flush myself out and kind of not necessarily detox, but at least just to kind of help get rid of the edema. So anyway, yeah, getting back on track and focusing on what I need to do. Otherwise, and I guess in some ways I'm kind of relieved. I guess I could say because I was finding myself starting to feel a little overwhelmed, but not now. I don't feel overwhelmed at all now. And it's something. The way I feel right now, I believe that even if I went on a trip or something, that I'd be okay. I'd be able to make it. So, I don't want to say that I'm pumped and excited, but I've just got a relief. I've just got a relief. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. Um, if all works out, I will be coming back at you tomorrow with another live stream. I said that I may be doing a accountability video tomorrow where I will have a side by side of my weight or of my stomach. So as far as I know, I will be doing that. But other than that, I may or may not. Uh, there's a good chance I will, though. Anyway, so I know I've hardly looked at the screen. I'm sorry that I haven't given you much eye contact, but I never was one to be able to look at anybody in the eyes when I'm talking to them. So it's not because I'm not talking to you. It's just I've never really been able to look anybody in the eyes when I'm talking to them. So I'm sorry. Anyway, I love you and I appreciate you and I thank you so much for watching. Any of you who watches this on the replay, thank you very much. And I am very grateful to every one of you. And to my sister in Christ in Ohio, thank you so much for all the encouragement and motivation that you've been giving me. It's just a great reminder of how much the Lord is with me and how much He cares about what I care about and the fact that He supports me. So thank you very much. I love you and thank you. Anyway, with that being said, uh, as far as I know, all works out. I'll be giving you a live stream tomorrow, and hopefully, I'll have good news on my weight and everything. And I appreciate you very greatly. So, yeah, thank you. You all have a great rest of your day.